So in Marxist theory, there's an argument that the value of a commodity is determined by the amount of labor it contains, and the labor is determined by the societal value attached to that labor. And that concept is called socially necessary labor time. And for Marx, that's what drives capitalist development. Marxist Leninism, unfortunately, doesn't start with a critique of socially necessary labor time. It takes it as a given, and it takes the capitalist commodity as a given, and builds socialism based on what capital values. And this is the fatal flaw of Marxist Leninism, is that it values the same thing that capital does, which is the capitalist commodity. Um, Whether or not China is capitalist or whether or not the USSR was, capitalist in its core, it was state capitalism or socialism, is irrelevant. It's an argument about the definition of terms. And the problem with the USSR was that it valued the same things as capital did, except workers in the United States had to deal with an asshole boss, and they were driving a 1978 Pontiac Trans Am, whereas workers in the USSR had to deal with an asshole boss and they couldn't get the consumer goods that people in the United States could. And that's ultimately why the USSR failed. It couldn't deliver on the same promises that it made, to the people of the USSR. Now, China has solved this problem by delivering the consumer goods to their society to keep their people happy. But in any of these mass society situations, the value is the commodity. Here's things that aren't valued, that are not considered to produce value within either of these systems: childcare, elder care, uh, cooking food, cleaning house. And for us, our movement here in the South, we want to rethink what we value and redefine what counts as work. So in Marxist theory, there was productive labor, which was that labor which produces a commodity, and reproductive labor, which was that labor which supported the production of commodities, such as childcare, housework, cooking food, that sort of stuff. To us, we need to value the reproductive labor more than the productive labor, because the reproductive labor is how you create a society. Giving birth is the ultimate form of labor. It's called labor. And that is the creation of a new human being. And all of reproductive labor is about maintenance of life. And to us, that's what society should value, is the maintenance and perpetuation of life on this planet. Marxist Leninism fails to do this, as does capitalism, because they take as an assumption and as an axiom uh, that socially necessary labor time is the producer of value. And we say the producer of value is that which creates and maintains life. And these two things are very different in a lot of different ways. Anyway, so that's my argument for the ultimate fatal failure of Marxist Leninism and why it fails to produce any sort of new society. Talk to y'all later. Peace, y'all.